Good morning. Welcome to your 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. We have some pleasant conditions across the region once again this morning. A bit more cloudiness and a little bit more onshore flow this morning, and that's going to continue throughout the day today. We could see winds gusting as high as 23 knots out of the northeast for this afternoon. So a slight chance we see a wind advisory. Most likely won't have that occur, but with those slightly breezy to breezy conditions off the water, we've seen those winds gusting near 25 knots. As far as our precipitation chances go today, we have a very slight chance of a brief shower this afternoon. Overall, those chances are below 20%, so most likely won't see that. And wrapping up the work week with a fairly pleasant day other than those slightly breezy onshore flow and the very slight chance of a shower. Taking a look at our sounding from this morning, freezing level at 13,600 feet. Winds are strongest in the low levels at 1,000 feet out of the east at 23 knots, and winds light and variable above that up to 16,000 feet below 10 knots, and then seeing our winds more westerly to northwesterly around 20 knots at 25,000 feet this morning. Our current surface analysis, we do have post tropical cyclone Francine over Arkansas this morning. We have a boundary stretching from that along the Gulf Coast states and then riding along the southeast coast, giving areas of the Outer Banks some unsettled conditions this morning. Seeing high pressure over New England, ridging down the Mid-Atlantic region, giving us our pleasant conditions this morning. This area, low pressure or disturbed weather across the Carolinas is going to continue for the next few days as we have some energy from tropical or post-tropical cyclone Francine move and kind of combine with that disturbed area off the southeast coast to give a continued poor conditions across the Outer Banks and possibly giving us some rainfall once we move into early to mid next week. So looking at our satellite imagery this morning, you can see we do have that convection off the coast of North Carolina this morning, but across our region, fairly good conditions as far as our sky coverage goes, just primarily seeing some upper level cirrus cloudiness and a little bit of some 3,000 and 7,000 foot cumulus and stratus clouds across the region. But overall today we'll see in general good sky conditions, as I mentioned, with primarily just the upper level cirrus cloudiness across the region. Taking a look at the HRM model for today, this is this afternoon. You can see a possibility of a shower popping up around the area, but it most likely won't see that. And then into the overnight hours, going to continue to see that overnight fog develop north and west of our area. We'll see some cirrus cloudiness as well across our region. So slight chance of seeing some fog overnight, but most likely we'll continue to see those areas off to our north and west I've seen the last few mornings. And looking into Sunday, looking like once again a fairly good day. A possibility of seeing that fog off to our north and west start the day. And looking at the GFS model for the next few days. For today, you can see that convection off the Carolinas. It remains over that area for Saturday and Sunday. High pressure builds back down to the region a bit stronger for Sunday. And then for Monday, looks like this run of the GFS starts to develop an area low pressure off the Carolina coast and moves inland Monday into Tuesday into North Carolina, spreading moisture across the region for Tuesday, giving us some breezy conditions as well as some rainfall. We'll continue to monitor this area low pressure as the National Hurricane Center has issued a 30% chance of a subtropical tropical low developing off the southeast coast early next week. Right now, looks like a fairly low chance of that occurring, and most likely just going to see some rainfall pushing the region for possibly Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. As we move into the latter portion of next week, right now the GFS kind of clears us out, but we're going to have a few different troughs moving through the region for later next week or latter part of next week, giving us possibly continued unsettled conditions across the region after we had this beautiful week this week. So looking at our risk chart for today, we're going to see a high around 79 degrees, low tonight of 67. Yellow for our winds today, as we should see those winds peaking around 23 knots with the gusts this afternoon, as I mentioned, and then dying down overnight northeast 6 to 11 knots. As far as our TAF goes today, we have a very slight chance of a shower between 12 and 1800 local. Otherwise, just going to see VFR conditions and good conditions expected. We'll have a little bit more low-level cloudiness tomorrow morning, a scatter deck around 1,000 feet, and some cirrus clouds as well. And that very slight chance of some patchy fall across the region, but most likely it's going to line up where it has the last few mornings north and west of our area. Our tides remain normal. Looking at Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, partly cloudy to mostly sunny and breezy. High 78 degrees. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a slight chance of some low clouds developing. A low of 66. And for Sunday, partly cloudy and breezy with onshore flow. High 77 degrees. Once again, having an orange here for Saturday and Sunday for those breezy conditions, so a better chance of seeing winds at 25 knots for the weekend. Next 7 days, looking at temperatures very similar. Next 7 days for highs, upper to mid 70s from today through Wednesday. Looks like with that area low pressure possibly weakening or moving out of the area for Thursday of next week, could be seeing temperatures back in the lower 80s. Overnight lows in the mid to upper 60s. A bit warmer overnight lows for later next week, as we have that area low pressure possibly just kind of moving out of the region and allowing for us to see not as much onshore flow with a little bit warmer temperatures across the region. But overall, the chances of rainfall next week look like the best on Tuesday and Wednesday. Continued a 30% chance on Thursday, so 40% chance, 30% chance on Wednesday and Thursday. But overall, right now the pattern is fairly unsettled for next week, but models are having a tough time with it. So we'll continue to monitor that situation for next week as we get closer. But I hope everybody has a great weekend and enjoy this nice Friday we have in store. We'll be back on Monday morning, 8:15 at 10 a.m.